Oh, perfect release. What a great week's fishing we've seen this week. Whether you're fishing out wide or in the estuaries, there's something for you this week. So let's get stuck straight into this week's Boss Outdoor Fishing Report. So let's start out wide. We had the McKill's Tree Services Game Fishing Classic out of Tathra over the weekend. Some great marlin fishing over the 3 days of the comp. We saw the comp run Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 89 marlin caught over the weekend. Most of them getting caught down on the southern border, just south of Eden. The bait was hard to find. There was heaps of small bait, just little slimies kicking around on the surface, where if you had to get down to the bottom to catch those better variety of slimies, which accounted for the better fish. Also plenty of dolphin fish too. We saw the dollies come up in your spread just behind your teaser quite often. If you fed a micro jig back into them, they loved them. They were just all over the micro jigs, so it's worthwhile chucking a micro jig around after them. There was even a couple of kings in the mix too, which took the same jigs, or the better models of those dollies were caught on surface. So just while you're ticking around your live baits, have a surface lure ready, chuck it out the back, and you might get hold of one of those big dolphin fish. There is so many sharks around out there too. If you're a shark fisherman and you want to go and get stuck into them, now is the perfect time. They were just following our teasers around, eating the slimies. Yeah, plenty of sharks out there. Dolphin fish are all over the fads at the moment too. If you can find anything floating out there, the fish traps, there's fish traps out there all the time. If you can get onto those buoys and just go and fish them, hold tight to them and throw some of those little slimies, absolute perfect bait for the dolphin fish. The water's warm and there's plenty of them around at the moment. So if you're going for a bottom bash this weekend, it's still been quite productive. If you get onto the reefs early and chuck some micro jigs around or just a paternoster rig for some bait, it's been heaps of nanagai. Such a beautiful fish, they're great eating. They don't look the biggest when you catch them, but they fill it up nicely and they taste absolutely spectacular. They're about as good as you get, I reckon, and there's plenty of them around at the moment, with a few pan-sized snapper as well, and some better mowong too. So worth a shot on the reef. Try and do that pretty early. I think as soon as the sun gets higher in the sky, rather than about 8 o'clock or something, you're probably not going to catch the best reef fish after that and head out onto the flatty grounds. Flatties have been really good, hit that 40 metres of water. There's been a fair few smaller fish around as well, but stick with it, you'll get your bag of feed in no time. What a time of year it is to be a beach fisherman. Our good customer Brock has just come down to Chura Beach, caught some sandworms, got him out there and got himself a nice feed of sand whiting. A couple of brim in the mix, a couple of flathead, just spectacular fishing off the beach at Chura at the moment. Also salmon as well. If you want to find some salmon, just come up onto the headland like this and gaze out over the water before you go. You'll see those big black balls going up and down the beach. That's going to be a big school of salmon. If they're not there, it's probably not worth fishing for them. You might pluck one here and there, but I'd just go to the next headland, have a look until you can find those big schools of salmon, and then you can pretty much cast anything into it, whether you just tie a paternoster rig and catch them on a surf popper, or if you go and spinning with a metal or something, you'll come up trumps. There's so many fish there when you can get them like that, they'll eat anything. Well, we're coming into that great time of year for you wharf fishermen. The bonito are finally here. We've seen them come and go a little bit over summer, but they're here now. They're getting them all the time off the wharves. So whether you're fishing Merimbula Wharf or Tathra Wharf, plenty of bonito to be had. There's a few salmon around. There's still the occasional kingfish. Harry got himself a nice little kingfish off the wharf the other day here in Merimbula. So well done, Harry, on that one. Come and get yourself a $10 voucher, mate. Yeah, just since we've been at the wharf here, people are catching bonito all the time. So plenty of them. With the kingies, there's been some good reports at the Seahorse Shoals at Eden. So in the bay there at Eden, there's been some really big kings. So if you want to get around there with a livey, just turn a livey around, or if you can get them on the sounder and jig them up, you have a chance of coming up with a really nice king at this time of year. So moving in a little bit closer to shore, it is still worth chasing some mulloway. The mulloway fishing has been exceptional. We've seen the numbers of mulloway just go crazy over the last couple of years, where you used to have to be an absolute gun fisher to catch a mulloway, and now lots of people are catching them as bycatch, or there's still some really good guys that are chasing them and getting some numbers. If you want to head to Eden at the moment and get off the Kaya River mouth, somewhere on the beaches around there, there is plenty of dewies. There's some better models too. Also, up into the estuary systems, we've seen Zeb went out and caught himself a couple of good dewies in the Pambula River. So up a little bit in the Pambula River system, you'll catch some dewies in there. They've been on the edges in Merimbula too. If you want to fish the drop-offs in Merimbula, quite often they'll even come up into the shallows there at night time when there's on the change of tide. They'll find themselves feeding in that shallow water. Great fun to target them up there. As we come into the dark, the prawns are on fire. There's been some heaps bigger prawns around this run as well. Just later in the season, the prawns obviously gets bigger as the summer goes on. They keep eating, keep getting bigger. So they're definitely edible. You see lots of the time the prawns in Merimbula system are quite small and they're only good for bait. At the moment, there is bigger prawns, well worth eating. And that just means that the whole estuary system is firing. All the fish are feeding on those prawns. So if you want to get yourself a plastic or a lure, like imitating a prawn is definitely going to be your best bet in the estuary systems this week. But yeah, plenty of trevally around, a few bream. Not as many dusky fuddies as we have been seeing over the summer, but still plenty of duskies in there as well. And like I said before, it's still a great chance of catching a big dewie. Well, that wraps up what's been a pretty hot week's fishing here in Merimbula. We've got some pretty nice weather on the next week too, so I imagine the catches will keep coming in thick and fast over the next week. So if there's anything else we can help you with, whether it's boating, camping, anything fishing related, come into Boss Outdoor so we can hook you up.